Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Richard Branson. These are the billionaires leading the space race, setting lofty goals for themselves and the future of space travel. Investors are buying in. So far this year, the space industry is getting $6.5 billion in PE investment. That's according to Space Capital. And this week, Bloomberg reported that SpaceX is selling shares that value the company at around $210 billion. But our next guest says it could take generations for the investments to pay off, even if they ever do. Joining us now to discuss, we've got Derrick Pitts, the Franklin Institute's chief astronomer. Derrick, it's great to have you here. Thanks so much for being here with us. I'm interested in your take just on billionaire investment in this space in general, given that you are a space expert yourself. How do you feel about it?
Well, it's really exciting that they're pouring all this cash into expanding our capability to reach low Earth orbit and beyond with organizations other than the national space organizations like NASA or Roscosmos of Russia or any of the others, Arianespace of France. But the issue here is that how is it that they're going to be able to actually generate some income out of this? Because right now, the billions that they're pouring in are going towards building the necessary infrastructure to do the work that has to be done off planet in space. And that is tremendously difficult. It has very high risk. It's going to cost a lot of money, and it's going to take a long time to get to a point where you actually have a process that's turning product around that can then generate some positive revenue for you.
So, Derrick, for investors there that are looking to see some sort of return and maybe in a more timely fashion, I guess, what do you think in terms of that angle or the catalyst of what is going to change here for investors over the coming months? It's probably too short of a time frame here. Coming years, what do those investments maybe more accurately look like?
Well, I think those investments have to be looking toward what are the practical technologies that emerge from the development of all the technologies that are being developed to actually build this space infrastructure. I mean, what kinds of technologies coming out of this can be used here on Earth? And driving that kind of development actually is important and can work, because as those technologies are built for use in space, the application that they can have on Earth can actually develop an avenue in which those investments actually begin to pay off sometime sooner than 2 or 3 generations from now.
Throughout the course of your career, Derrick, have you seen the kind of combination of the private and public sector have different impacts in terms of how much technological growth there is based on where the investment is coming from versus in each of those?
Well, the interesting thing is that on the public side, the money that's invested by governments does then turn into technology sharing for the rest of the general public or for that nation. Because in terms of, for NASA, at least anyway, technology sharing is part and parcel of the investment that our government is making in developing our national space program. But for private industry, what happens on the other side is they now have proprietary right to all of the technology that they develop. So in one sense, we have easier access to those technologies through the public sector, the national space organizations, than we do through the private sector.